How do you like it compared to diesel truck?
Oh, I love it. I drove cross country for 35 years. Without pulling anything, actually, we can make the rear tandems jump off the ground. It has a great deal of torque.
So what we'll be doing here is producing 100% renewable hydrogen, electricity, and heat. So that's the key word, trigen, using this high temperature fuel cell from renewable biogas. So we'll actually take a renewable feedstock to produce these key sources that will then power our facility, 100% renewable electricity for the facility here, and as well as our hydrogen, which will fuel the vehicles that come off the port. So all the vehicles we bring from Japan will be fueled with this renewable fuel, along with the trucks that we will have fueling starting in the port area running their drayage routes. So what we'll have is biogas sources throughout the entire state will then be injected into the natural gas pipeline, and then we will pull out that same amount of biogas, but technically it is the natural gas pipeline here in Long Beach. So you see that full life cycle of into the pipeline, out of the pipeline, but it is a renewable feedstock from that perspective. So really the key market for our hydrogen here is for fuel cell vehicles. I think the first one is obviously going to be our Mirai product. So our current light duty products need fuel when they come here off the boat. The reason why we have a scale of 1.2 tons is so we can fuel our growing market for trucks as well. And those use a lot of hydrogen. So we will be supporting a number of those trucks in the near future with this hydrogen produced here.
Well, last year we had a drag race with a Cummins with the Kenworth, exactly like ours. We have the hydrogen, and when the gun goes off, we were looking in the mirror to see where he was. And if you go to a Toyota hydrogen truck, you'll see the drag race. We were 100 yards ahead of the truck, pulling 31,000 pounds, both of it at the same time. This is the compressor right here.
Sounds like a hairdryer.
Right, very quiet. The only thing you hear actually is the compressor. You just touch it and it wants to go.
There is a network of fueling stations here in California. How about other states or other parts of the world?
So you're right, here in California it is the largest global market for the vehicles. We now have almost 5,000 Mirai specifically and over 6,000 total, and that's supported by about 40 stations today. But really, I think we see that growing obviously to something like 60 or 65 currently funded, growing to hopefully 200 by kind of the 2025 timeframe, and the California Fuel Cell Partnership showing that you could have maybe 1,000 stations supporting about 1 million vehicles by 2030 as kind of that stretch goal. But obviously, how do you leverage that and build to new markets, at least in North America? And so right now as Toyota, we've actually partnered with Air Liquide to start that in the Northeast states. So you'll start to see hopefully in the next couple of years a launch there as well with this initial round of stations, kind of the Boston, Connecticut, New York type areas. So we grow out a new market where there also is zero emission mandates for those vehicles in those states on the other side of the country. But you also see going up into Canada, now we've had a station open in British Columbia, also in Quebec. So there's plans to have openings in that region of North America, and you can naturally see how you need to bridge the gap up the West Coast. So certainly looking at very environmentally friendly, conscious states like Oregon, Washington as well, certainly makes sense to start expanding to kind of connect that hydrogen highway from California and up the coast as well.